4.4 ship prices are in, and we're gonna look at what's worth buying and what not. Starting off at Crusader showroom from Argo, all of these are worth a buy, except the Geo is kind of bug. Then for the Crusader ships, Star Runner, a lot of people like it, I don't. Then when it comes to the big boys, the C2, A2 and M2, I would suggest getting the M2 because it only has slightly less cargo space than a C2, and you have 4 pilot controlled weapons like the A2 instead of only 2 for the C2. Then going back to the Ares ships, they're not quite what they used to be, but at that price point, that's not bad. Very cool ships indeed. C1 and A1, I'm a big fan of both of them. And then the Intrepid, I'm not a fan at all. They are much better starter ships. Next up, we're heading to New Deal in Lorville. Starting with Aegis, Hammerhead, way overpriced unless you have a big party going. The Avengers, I like all of them. The Eclipse, a bit overpriced if you ask me, since it can only take 3 torpedoes. Gladius, always awesome. Reclaimer, money printer, definitely worth the grind. Retaliator, not really worth it at the moment because you still need to buy the modules. So you're looking at over 10 million there. Aegis Saber, I love it. Great price. Then for the Vanguards, I'd recommend either going for the Harbinger or Sentinel. And the Redeemer, I don't really recommend. It loses its tail way too easily. Renegade, awesome. Comet, awesome. Gladius, Saber Firebird, fire 6 missiles at once, so if that's your playstyle, this is a much better buy than the Aegis Eclipse, and cheap. And then the Peregrine, probably my new favorite racing ship. Very awesome. Then Anvil Aerospace. Top 3 is kind of pointless at the moment, but they are fun to play around with. F7C Hornet Mark II, very cool. Ghost is awesome. Tracker, not so much. Then Argo, Mole, great mining ship, either solo or with a friend. PUVs are useful, but I'd say pass. Raft, great entry-level trader. SRV, not much to do with it at the moment. Atlas, must have. Tractor, pass. CSV SM, I quite like it, like a little pickup truck. Then the Atlas Geo, bugged. Then Consolidated Outland, Mustang Beta, very cool. Nomad, also awesome. And then the Death Quad, I deployed. Crusader ships, covered. Then Drake, Buccaneer, very awesome. Best thing about this thing is you get a A-grade military power plant as a stock weapon. So for that alone, it's worth a buy. Caterpillar, pretty decent. Cutlass Black, very awesome. Blue's kind of pointless at the moment. Cutlass Red, my favorite variant. Dragonfly is bugged. The Herald can only go fast in a straight line, but no real use for it at the moment. Then the Steel, just as tough as the Blue, but also kind of pointless at the moment. Mule is useful because it's small and fits in really small ships. Drake Cutter, I like. Corsair, I don't like. It's too slow. Vulture is awesome. Cutter Scout, I like. Rambler, I like more. And then the Golem, pretty awesome. You can fit a few of them in the bigger ships. Greycat Rock, definitely worth a buy if you like planetary mining. DS, I'd give a hard pass. And then MTC, very cool, totally worth that price. Then Mirai, the Razors, I love all of them, but the LX is my favorite. Then we have the Fury and the MX, so you have the gun and the missile variant, and Pulse and LX, both pretty cool, but the bikes are buggy. Then we have the Guardian and its big brother, the missile variant MX, which I love. Both of them pretty cool. Then for MISC, I'd recommend getting the Freelancer DUR, because now that we have bigger systems and bigger quantum jumps to take, the DUR's extended fuel tanks makes this one a great buy. The Max is also decent if you like trading. Avoid the MIS, there are better options. As for Reliant Core, I'd give a hard pass. Same for the Starfarers. Prospector is great. The Reliance, I don't like at all. Hull A, very good entry-level trader. Hull C, worth the price, but very buggy. You have the Starlancer Max. I'm not really a fan of it. I do like the TAC a lot though. but it is slow. And then Misc Fortune, very awesome. Next up, Origin Jumpworks 85X is very cool. M50, too fast for its own good, but fits in a lot of ships. The 890 jump, hard pass, way overpriced, and not much to do with it. 100i is awesome, same for 125A, although they are squishy. Then we have the 400i, very cool exploration vehicle, and then both the Origin X1 Force and Velocity are awesome. X1 Force does have a weapon though, so that's pretty cool, but the bikes are buggy. RSI, looking at the constellation Phoenix, always liked it. In the Auroras, I'd suggest getting the LN variant. The Andromeda, great missile boat. The Aquila, I also love, will give you the best view of all Constellation series ships. Ursa, I suggest getting the Nursa. Then the Mantis, if you like not being liked, great interdictor. There's the LN I spoke about. Taurus is also a great medium freighter, very popular. Scorpius and Antares. If you have a friend, they are great. Ursa Medivac, absolute must-have for its respawn capabilities. Then the Zeus ES and CL, both of those are cool, and Lynx is awesome. We have the Meteor, which is just a lot of wasted space if you ask me. Next up we have Tumbril. I recommend getting either the Cyclone RC just for fun, that's my favorite, or the MT, which has guns and missiles, so you have best of both worlds. Ignore the rest. And then if you like tanks, there's a Tumbril Nova big tank, and for a small tank you have Tumbril Storm. Both pretty cool, both very chumpy and buggy. Then our last stop for Stanton's ship and vehicle prices is Astro Armada Area 18. Starting with Anvil Aerospace, the Hawk is awesome. Arrow, very awesome. Gladiator, awesome. Okay, so I like Anvil. Mark 1 Super Hornet, guess what? Awesome. Tracker, meh. Ghost, pretty cool. Hurricane is deadly if you have a friend. Terrapin, pretty useless. Valkyrie, meh, overpriced. Ballista, decent. Karak, definitely worth the price if you can afford it. As for Pisces, I'd rather you get the C8R, which is the medical variant. The Hornet Mach 1's decent, but rather safe for Mach 2, or get the Super Hornet Mach 1. Spartan and Centurion we've covered. Pisces again, get this C8R. Ignore the Hornet Wildfire. Terrapin Medic, pretty strong, very fun to fly. Quite a lot of wasted space if you ask me. So yeah, not too sure about that. Then we finally have the Anvil Asgard ready for purchase. Pretty decent ship, although it is pricey. Personally, I prefer the Starlancer TAC over the Asgard, but that's just me. Then Au, they are all bugged, but they all sound and look very cool. Cargo we've covered. Banu Defender, it's okay, but overpriced. There are better options. Consolidated Outland, Delta is awesome. The Gamma, if you like going fast, that's awesome as hell. And then again, Death Squad, Crusader we've covered. Esperia, Prowler, way overpriced, hard pass. Same goes for the Blade, although it looks awesome. Talon and Shrike, they are both cool. I prefer the Shrike, which is more missile heavy variant. Then we also have the new Esperia Prowler Utility, which that price can't be right, can it? Still, I think it's a pretty garbage ship. Then Gatac, Sealan, there are better options. Definitely not a fan of taking off and landing in this thing. Then Graycat, PTV and STV can't go wrong with either one of those. Kruger, I love the Archimedes. Mirai, Razors and Furies covered, as well as the Pulse and Guardian. And again, we have Starlancer Max and TAC. Again, the TAC is about 6 million cheaper than the Asgard and has med beds, which the Asgard doesn't have. And then lastly, Origin, starting with 300i. Always love that ship. 315p, 325a, they're both decent, as well as the 350R, which is fast and very cool. M50 we've covered. And we have the 600i, which is really nice. I'm a fan. Then of course the touring variant, which is the prettier version, but you won't be able to carry a vehicle, so that kind of sucks. 100i we've covered. 135C, it's decent, but I'd rather recommend getting a whole A. 890 garbage, massive waste of money. 100i and the X1s we've covered, and that's it. Let me know which ships you are most excited about getting. Like, subscribe, and see you next time.